though, like, I'd prefer they'd keep British summertime over Greenwich Mean Time, because although, like, you technically get like an hour more in bed on Greenwich Mean Time than British summertime we get daylight. Like, so it's nice having daylight. We get, like, you know, it's like, it'll get, because of British summertime, it'll stay late to like 10 at the latest, which is cool as fuck, man. I love that shit. So I'd much prefer to, like, just have British summertime, fuck off Greenwich Mean Time. Ooh, this is laggy. The divorce left her with nothing. Oh my god, did you just see that? Oh my god, and now the police are murdering them. Well, I never. Well, now you do. Oh yeah, also, so yeah, boys kitted out, my man. Fam all kitted out in this West Ham gear. So, good news and bad news. The good news is, I've dressed up basically every single one of my operatives in West Ham gear, or Tower FC gear. The bad news is, the game apparently, and I didn't realize, I kept a couple in their original clothes because they were cool. The bad news is, apparently the game doesn't give a shit what you dress your characters like unless you're playing as them. So I was like, this is going to be sick. I was like, I've done all this. I was like, look at all this. You know, we're just going to have like fucking troops of West Ham just like running through the streets of London. It'll be great. No, anytime you accidentally even see any of these in the street or in your home base, they're wearing their original outfit. And this only shows when you choose to play as them, which is annoying as shit. Because I was like, it'd be sick if I could just have a whole club of like hammers, you know? Did you know time was centered around England? Well, it's, yeah, like UTC, Universal Time... I don't know what the C bit. Universal Time Coordinates? I don't know. But UTC is based on Greenwich Mean Time. Like, Greenwich Mean Time is a 0. And Greenwich Mean Time is 0, like 0 hour. Yeah. For some reason, we are the epitome, like the epicenter of time. Of it. Time in regards to what humans think of it, you know. Pfft, fucking humans. She has for I've treated her like trash, but really she's a queen, deserves to be treated as such. You promise you'll change. Well, see, this is the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I like to treat my guitars nice. I like to, you know, I'll give them a nice polish, give them nice new strings all the time and shit. Good stuff, you know, really treat them right. But when I play them, oh, boy, that slag don't know what's coming at her. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into the void. Which is maybe what I should call my guitar. Because it's a slag. And that's it. Wambler's gear, my man. We are the centre, right? You fucking slag. You 6-string slag. Alright. But yeah. Treat it like a queen. Play it like, play it like your dick's gonna fall off if you don't go like just crazy ragger. Yeah. This is a weird start to a stream already. Also, public service announcement, probably not best to have sex with your guitars. Play them dirtily, don't actually have sex with them though, because strings can be painful when they snap on your hand. I would not like to know what that'd feel like on your penis and or vagina. It's mostly because of the power and influence we had. Yeah, it still baffles me, like how, like, and I'm not saying it's good the way, you know, Britain used to do shit, but it amazes me to no ends that such a small massive land, like, the UK is such a small fucking area. How they, like, owned all these other places, and yet how we kept, like, England as our main thing. It's like the whole, like, you know, how, like, England apparently sent, like, their convicts to, like, Australia. Why? Why don't we leave them here and go there ourselves? Why? Why have we chosen to stay on this teeny little bit of cold fucking drizzly landmass, you know? That was decided as being the centre. Well, yeah, I'm happy with it. You never sexed a guitar, you swear? Who you been talking to? I'm an oboe man only, yo. It's crazy. Like, I'm just like, even just like say like how we were a pretty big force in like the like pirate fleets and shit. Like, how? Like, surely like somewhere like America could have just made such fucking crazy amounts of boats and just stored them. They could have stored more boats in like one state than we could have on our entire landmass, you know? Also, I just realised DMCA, but hey ho. Come on, you towers. What? Oh, I get called a cunt. Well, fuck you. You're gonna die now. Watch this. Death. Death becomes her. Alright, go join them. Go kill them. Yeah, that's right. There we go. They did die. Beautiful. Okay, cool. I'm a man of my word. So yeah, we're actually going to focus on missions today. Get him away. Get him away. Get him away. London! Okay. Hack the Bloom server. That's illegal though, right? Okay, so let's go. Fuck Charlie work for real, man. I hate it. Like last night I went into my kitchen, like I'm one of these people that like I'm not as messy as I used to be. I used to be fucking awful for it. Like I'm kind of untidy, but not like too bad untidy, you know? It's like yeah, there's a bit of rubbish that I should go put out in the proper bin, but it's not too bad, you know, it's in the bin. I should put a little bit of paperwork away, and I got like, you know, a couple of, like my bag that has all my like smokable stuff in it, like kind of there. It's not too bad, but I could do with hoovering and putting shit away, but washing up is one of my like most hated things. I don't know why, I just fucking hate washing up. I've never even been able to pinpoint it. I think it's just like a mass of stuff. Like, it used to be because I was just, you had to bend over and it really hurt being a tall person doing it, but I sit down doing it now. But yeah, washing up, I fucking hate washing up, like, more than pretty much anything. But, like, I even looked last night, I was like, there isn't that much washing up. Still haven't done it today, though. I was like, I should just do it. There's not much. But alas, my brain was like, but why would you do that when you could just go play video games? What's wrong with you? Is there no money in this? Oh, there we go. Give me that money. So he can't actually get out of here. It's a tarp. So I need this dude's shit. So I need to get in there better. Turn on your landing light. Turn it on. You need to get yourself a bin for your room. Yeah, man, it's so much easier. Like, I just have like a little like wicker bin, and then I put my stuff in there, and then just chuck that into like my main bin. I mean, for me, it's not too bad anyway. I live in a bungalow, so like, it's pretty easy for me just to be like, sweet. It's just the next room along is my kitchen, to my like bedroom, to my living room kind of thing. Like literally, I'm in my living room now. And then my living room has double doors that go into my bedroom for like accessibility, and then there's like another door out of the bedroom and out of the living room. But like it's all basically like circle run. Like if a murderer comes into my house, I can circle run that bitch all day. Well, I can't really run, so I'll still die. But if like one of you guys came to my house and the murderer was trying to get one of you, you could circle run him like all day long. Like not even a thing. Need this. You hate washing up the worst of all housework. Right, it's just, I don't even know what it is. I don't even mind my hands getting wet or anything. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's boring as well. Like, if I'm tidying my living room or something, I can at least put the music on. My speakers are right here. Same with, like, my bedroom, I've got, like, a TV in there now, so I can, like, bang something on the TV if I'm doing a deep clean in there. And I know I could take, like, my phone out into the kitchen or move, like, my speakers are on the wall, so I could take, like, a shitter speaker out there, but it's like, plus that's the only wall that like connects to my neighbour, so like I don't want to be blasting music in my kitchen necessarily because my neighbour will hear that, whereas they can't hear shit from here really. You had a dream last night that you pooped and you didn't just stink out the bathroom but stank out the whole world. Oh shit. That sounds like an amazing poop. Did you know what you dreamt that you ate to get that poop? You'd like to live on one. It's honestly the best, man. Like, I know stairs are actually really good exercise for you, but for people like me and you, yeah, it's insane. Like, when I lived in my old place, I lived on the second floor flat, no elevator or anything, and yeah, I was just trapped. Whereas now, my back's like, although my back's still fucked. Hey, and that's how you doing, my man? Although my back's still fucked, like, it's proportionally better. Like my actual posture and stuff is so much better now. I'm on a single floor compared to when I was on like stairs flat. That was also very uneven flat with creaky floorboards. Now I'm on this ground floor, cement floor. Fuck me, it's so much easier for my life. Oh, I don't think I need to be in there now. So if you're going up and down 2 flights of stairs all the time, too fucking right, man. Yeah, too fucking right. And just get a Bluetooth speaker. Well, I have got Bluetooth. I have got like a couple, but they're just shit. I'm an audiophile, so I don't know. It just gets a bit aggy. Like I've got really nice monitor speakers that I put up on my wall, mainly for like music production and stuff. But they're really fucking nice. They weren't even too expensive. But they're really nice. They're really good. But then when I listen to my Bluetooth speakers in comparison, which I'll often do when I'm having a shower, I put my Bluetooth speaker just next to the door kind of thing. But it's awful. Awful quality comparatively. To be fair, I could get better Bluetooth speaker. I've got like the Amazon like Echo and shit, but yeah. Listen to music in the kitchen when doing dishes. Yeah, I mean I do that, but I don't know. Music helps me do a lot of medial tasks, but it still doesn't quite help with the dishes. I think because also like I don't know how you guys do your dishes. I'm like I turn the tap on and I wash with the tap on. I don't really leave shit to soak. Well, I do leave stuff to soak, but I never just like fill the bowl up and wash. You know, I've got like one of those sticks that has the washing up liquid already in it. So like as you're scrubbing, more washing up liquid goes onto it. It's sick shit. It's good stuff, but I suppose it's a bit louder, so you can't hear stuff as nice. It's not too bad on days like this, because I'll crank open my back door and just, you know, try and take in the rays from outside kind of thing, but you should get a Cyberpunk titanium spine sword. Mate, I would fucking love it. If someone said, would you like to volunteer? Never been done before, we don't know what's going to happen, I'd be like, do it. Is there a possibility I might be able to jump, like, leap buildings at a time? They would probably be like, yeah, of course. And I'd be like, well, definitely then, let's do this. Boop! She was never here. Yeah, an exoskeleton suit would be the best of both worlds, for sure. Like, they're sick, man. Like, there's exoskeletons out there that have helped, like, complete paraplegics be able to, like, actually move again and, you know, like, gain more, like, movement back just because the exoskeleton is able to, like, move them. Like, even just down to, like, exercise. Like, it's hard to exercise when you're disabled, obviously. Like, get a fucking massive tie around my belly. An exoskeleton is something that could help me move without, you know, well, it'd help me move and then actually work those muscles out that I can't physically do myself, kind of thing. Yeah. Seems a bit expensive. Yeah. 2 sinks, one's get filled with soap, the other sink is for rinsing. Wait, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, for the kitchen. I only have 1 sink in my kitchen. Yeah. So I have to do one with. I have to do both of them are like. I have to do like soap and water all in one. You know what I mean? Break me off a piece of that hydraulic shit. Man, the fact that Rickety Cricket got that shit, man. Like how? Yeah, they are truly amazing. Like, yeah, exoskeletons are truly fucking awesome. Like, I look forward to seeing, like, the way the world goes with that sort of stuff. Like, I think in a few decades, for, like, disabled people, it will be a very, very different world. Just stuff like, I know people rag on, like, smart home stuff, like the smart Internet of Things or whatever it is that you know, they started saying about. But, shit like just having, like the personal assistant things, like, you can say, like, turn my light on and off, or, like, even just do it on your phone if you don't want to use, like, an Echo thing. They're amazing. Like, you have no idea how hard it... I mean, yeah, I suppose a lot of people do. But, like, there's always those things that, like, when you're not quite able to do something, the littlest things become the most annoying that you can't do. So, like, when you're, like, can't get to your light to turn it off, or, like, you know, you're in pain and you can't reach high enough, it's great to be able to, like, just lights off. It's such a simple thing, you know. Fancy pants having 6 kitchen sink, yeah, right. Wait, I've left the building? Didn't want to do that. You'd love 6 kitchen sink, make deep so I don't think I said any real English when I was reading your sentence there. But yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. How the hell am I meant to get down? Maybe I do need to go on the other side of the building bit. Because there was another side that was kind of just fucking off, wasn't there? Like, this bit doesn't seem to have an elevator down, unless you're an elevator. What are you doing here? Let me have a little butchers. You can go down. Ooh. Maybe this is what I was meant to do all along? Let's go through here first, I guess. Oh? 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 Okay, I'm pretty sure this is what I was meant to do all along. Alright, groovy. Yeah, you've got a hue light in nearly every room. Yeah, that's it, man. It's so good. I should get the hue light. Well, I think it's technically there. No, hue light's the actual good brand one, is it? I've got like cheap ones, which are good. Like in this room, I have to use a normal light still because of the fact I stream, and because I've bought just the cheap light ones. They're not quite as bright. Like it's fine in my bedroom and stuff, but doesn't work here. But I've then got my lamps in here set on it, so at night I can just turn my lamps on and turn them off that way and stuff. Setting up my kettle is great as well. Being able to like turn my kettle on and have it boiled by the time I get there is a game changer.
It's as if you've been waiting for me to put it to good use.
Right.
What's this thing Larson's got with secret
Phillips, who that's it, yeah. Yeah, I need to get that, to be fair.
You'll need a lift to take you down to where she is.
Okay. Now, do I head back with this, or do I... Because it seems like I'm on the same level, but I feel like I'm going to have to get the lift with my matey, right? Let's turn that off. Put a gun in my pocket. Ooh. Head pain. Head pain has passed. Why is there a load of, rascals? Fucking waste, man. Look at him. What do you want? Dead sticks stop them covering up Albion. Well, get wrecked. Have a look at my penis. There are other ones, but that is one of my... Yeah, that's always the one I hear about the most, to be honest. The one that, like, always, people seem to... Oh, just, like, get those. Just get those, usually. Like, every other one just seems to be cheap as fuck, but, yeah, I probably should just invest in some actual Philips Hue one. Does it light the room up well? Because, yeah, I know, like, my like, ones that I've got... They don't light it. They don't give enough volume of light. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, I'm back. How you doing, my man? Could you get like a disability grant to cover that shit? Well, there's things that like. I mean, I've had like grants to help improve like my bathrooms. Like when I moved in here, I had a normal bath, which I can't use baths because I can't really get in and out of them. Plus, they're more of a like a risk for me if I like slip trying to get in and out and that. So like one of the things they did was I got a grant to. See ya. But yeah, like so, like I got a grant to basically change it into a wet room. So like my bathroom's a wet room now. I also had my kitchen changed to be a bit more disability friendly. That was basically it. That was like the extent of what I'm allowed basically, and like the money that they could spend on it. So I could buy the shit, but it's on me at that point. It's expensive to be having disability stuff, unfortunately. But what monitor should you get? You should get an Acer Predator. I'm telling you, Acer Predator. My one's an older one, and it's a beaut. It runs fine, but you can get them in 2K if you want 2K. They're a bit expensive, but they're sick. They're sick. Pretty bright. Depends what you get, really, too. Okay. This area is not restricted. That's bullshit. I can see the map. There is no restriction. You've all died for no reason. I am not in a restricted area. That was bullshit. Now they're all dead for no reason. Just because they were getting above their station, you know. Can't go wrong with LG. I mean, to be fair, both my TVs are LG. But then I've got an Acer monitor. So I've got my 144Hz 1080p Acer monitor. Like Acer Predator, but one of the older ones. And then I've just got a bog standard like Asus or Asus, however you say it. Just like cheap 1080. Super sharp shooter. Super sharp. The S, the H, the A, the R, the P, the S, the H, the O, the T, the E, the R. It's good when music helps us learn, right? Oh, sorry about that. I don't know if they were dying or enjoying that, actually. I'm going to take your ammo and shroud you from the world. Also, do you like this mask I'm wearing? It's pretty cool, right? Unlocked it. And now I can wear it. On my head. Actually, hold up. There's money down here. Let's go get this money first. Give me that money. I was better range and more affordable. That's fair. I mean, I think at the heart of it as well, like, when you look into it, a lot of monitors will just use, like, even if it's a, like, and I'm not saying this is, like, a fact for this one, but say, for example, like, I've got an Asus monitor. there's a very good chance that Asus monitor uses LG panels, or, you know, Sony's panels, or some, you know, one of their, like, more budget panels or something. So, like, yeah, a lot of time it doesn't necessarily matter, but as long as reviews are good, I think that's the main thing. If you see one that you're like, oh, it seems like a decent price for what I want, check the reviews. If the reviews are good, sweet. If they're shit, fuck it off. But, yeah, I mean, LG, Acer, fuck, Sony, if you could afford a Sony monitor, goddamn. Samsung do monitors, I imagine they're good. You whispered a mighty for an LG. Okay, nice, nice. Oh, Pecora, if you've got, like, as long as you're not posting a million, feel free just to post the link in chat if you want to get, like, people's opinions. Because then if you want to see what, like, other people in chat think of that monitor, I'm cool with that. You're good, bruh.
Load status.
Oh, hello.
90%, not good enough. Load processor temperature.
Huh.
Now, she's uploading herself.
Jesus fuck, she's a few minutes away from immortality.
Ooh, that's
Until her
cool.
upload, we'll have no way of stopping her or Daybreak.
That sounds a little bit like Philomena Clunk. I'd fucking love it if Philomena Clunk was in this game. she's a national treasure, man. I mean, I can see the blue thing, but I'm having difficulty finding where else it goes. Does it go further down? Hey, money. Oh, wait, I saw one over here. Oh, here we go. Fucking hell. I just need to... Is there a flying drone in this room I can just take over? Because that would make life so much easier. No. No flying drones. Wow.
Mate, you've uncovered a gold mine here.
Fam, have you seen what they're doing?
Save the world.
Suggestions?
The neural upload is being
Shut
routed
up,
through
bro.
the quantum computers in this lab. Hacking them would stop the psychopath from becoming an AI-augmented superintelligence, but no pressure or anything.
Why would you want them to have super intelligence? It's being cruel. It's really hard to see any angle on here. Okay. So there's one over here, right, as well. Didn't it split off both ways? Yeah. Here we go. Oh shit, I can't reach that one from here. I need to... No, I went way too far back. God damn it. This is... I just want one that flies. I need to get to this one. Hang on. There was a... Maybe that camera? Can I see it from here? Yep, okay, cool. Oh no, that one's actually fine, because I can do that. Okay. Oh, doors are hard. What is this? Hold on, I think I need to get it into there still, maybe? I'll do that. Then we put that there. They still don't touch each other, do they? Bollocks. Okay. Okay. Too much options for you? Yeah, that's the thing. There is just overload of like information of what you can actually get nowadays.
Rerouted. This isn't an accident.
Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. Well, the one you sent me seems pretty decent, similar to yours. Well, there you go. Sweet, sweet. That northern woman who was just talking had a Welsh accent, like someone impersonating Menk and never been there. Yeah, well, that's why I liked it. That's why I was saying, like, Philomena Clunk. She has kind of, like, the exaggerated, like, accent and shit, really, doesn't she? But in a comical way. Okay, so I think those are good. Are we good to just go back now? I can't... Yeah, we are. I think. Am I good now? What's happening? I mean, the camera system on this level. God damn. Oh, it needs to be physically interacted. Have I not completed it? No, I hadn't done that yet. Okay.
You're here, aren't you? You didn't heed my warning.
Disable the left hemisphere. Oh, is that over here now, I'm guessing then? That makes sense, right? Having it on both sides. Nope. Actually, it wouldn't, apparently. Oh, there is a fucking... God damn, there was this here all along. Oh, but hang on. Is there actually a daughter here? No. No, he's trapped in here anyway. Alright, fair. Well, should we try and get in here? It might be easier if I just shoot everybody. Oh, there's a creep on this fool. Get creeped! Ah. Find me 2 baboons, so I can take them to the zoo. I mean, this looks... Oh, there was a fucking goddamn piece of shit robot motherfucker. This would have made it so much easier. But it's done. It's all connected. Like, these bits don't have to be, because we've bypassed it to other parts. I've done that one. Ah, I hadn't unlocked that. Okay, cool. You don't know who that is? Oh, have you ever watched Charlie Brooker's like screen wipes? So not like his Black Mirror stuff, but the, like screen wipes or like end of year wipes he used to do. Because he used to have a section with this like northern ginger woman called Philomena Clunk, who was just like she was obviously as an actor, and she'd always play up like really dumb to shit. But I genuinely can't get enough of her. Just like full-on dense material, but in the best way.
What are you doing? Redirecting memory access.
I'm taking your brain away. You're not gonna have no more brain today. Motherfucker. Okay, at least we know there's a little fly bugger in here somewhere. Where you at? Where you at, you little bitch? I know you're in here somewhere. I didn't crash you. Where's it gone? There was one in here. There was literally one in here before. What the fuck? What the F?
You should have stayed away.
Only seen 3 episodes. Only ever seen 3 episodes of Black Mirror as well. Damn, dude. Yeah. There was what was it? Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch had your buddy G up in it. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh man. I mean, Black Mirror is just a fucking trip the whole way through. Like the best way of explaining it is like, yeah, modern day like Twilight Zone. Even though apparently there is a modern day Twilight Zone. I heard it's really bad. But yeah, man, all of Black Mirror is fucking just crazy good.
Stop now, please, before it's too late.
Say pretty, please. Ooh. You gon' die today. You got to give the sub to Diki from Jabuds. No, so did I think, actually, yeah. On, I can't remember when it was. But yeah, I also got one from him on, I think it was on the Beat Battle Nights. Yeah. I wasn't even talking, I think I was just, like, I had it on, like, muted and shit.
Restart upload.
But yeah, I just came back and was like, oh shit, somebody gave me a thing, nice.
Security to the quantum lab. Security to the quantum lab. Code red.
Wait, I'm in the quantum lab. Hello. I'm a Swedish engineer. And we will do string battle in just a moment. Fucking love it. There we go. Oh shit! Don't be here. No, it's illegal, it's illegal. Yeah, one of the only, well, there's a few annoying things about this game, to be fair, but one of the annoying things is you can't, if you're in cover, you can't just shoot someone like this. You have to come out of cover to shoot someone there, which is kind of irritating. Could you come to where I can see your head? Yeah. Oh, your head's pretty solid, right? Kaboom. Confront Sky in her chamber. Ooh. See, mate, don't know where you got one. Just saw the notification. Oh, fucking A. Or maybe you got it in the more recent one.
Listen to me.
Oh, hello.
What you saw in my lab, that was nothing more than the early stages of a very important experiment.
Right.
It may not be pleasant, but Daybreak is the future of the human species.
Why is-
the only future?
Why is Subtitle calling her a cashier? We know her name's Sky Larson. I just walked through the hologram. Your man's gonna take bins out and read the metering thing. Yeah, good shout, man. Yeah, you don't want that shit to just turn off.
Corruption, climate change, nuclear war. Humanity is doomed to
can't see any of that. Looked around, couldn't see shit.
Daybreak can change that. Help me bring about the next stage of human evolution. We can save lives. We can ascend.
Wait, did my eyes glow up in this? I didn't know that. Oh no, maybe I don't. Maybe it was a light reflection on the mask. Oh, just floating and shit.
That's sick. You seeing all this? She's dying.
You brought a
Oh,
friend.
it's just reflection from this.
Everyone you killed and tortured. All of that was to save your sorry life. You're pathetic.
This isn't about me. With our minds in the cloud, humanity can endure any natural disaster. We can be safe, free, and happy forever.
I don't give a shit about humanity. You're a psycho brat who wants what she wants and fuck everyone else, including your mother.
You did slave
You still have time to make
slave
things
your
right.
mother's mind.
Reactivate my upload. Let me live so I can continue my work.
What's in it for me?
You can't believe a single thing she says.
Mate,
Shut
you don't even know my name.
down, finish this.
I was going to, but you don't even know my name. I don't either, but like,
Whatever
still.
you decide. She can't stop you. I can't stop you.
Who
The
can?
choice is yours.
Where is it? What do I shoot or like confront Sky in her chamber? Done that. Okay. Oh, I've got to do it from here. So.
Yes. Do what's right.
Or.
Please. Don't.
Oh, that's pretty compelling. Let me try this one again. Oh no, you're not saying shit. Okay. Well, she seems to be a dickhead, so I think we're just gonna kill her. I think that's what we're meant to do. She basically took her dying mum's brain, put it into her house's AI, and whittled it down like emotionally after it was in pain and agony for like months, just to basically be like it's like Alexa type shit. Although I kind of want to see that horrible future, we gotta kill this bitch.
Please. Don't do this to me.
Imagine if killing her succeeds the upload
I
though.
don't want to die.
Now she's vice president. Why did they keep changing it? Cashier, vice president. Her name's Sky Larson. We know this. It's pretty cool though. And you gone.
Dead good.
Dead
I'm
set.
proud of you, mate.
I'm proud of me too.
Nothing left to do now but take a few selfies with the corpse. Quickly though, security's on the
That
way.
was actually what I was
Be
thinking,
careful.
but I don't know how to get my phone out. About to give this bird a shout. See if she had a nice time out last. Can't remember the rest of the lyrics, it's fine. Alright, we'll just leave. I was hoping we could like take her body. Or her tech, you know, we're DedSec. We're a hacker group. It'd be cool to steal all the tech we could here, right? It's a cool brain hologram too. I don't have much brain hologram tools myself. Uh-oh, uh-oh! Well, shit, that was close.
This can't be happening.
Just let me out, just let me out! Why'd you keep... You're not even wearing helmets, dildos. Okay, hopefully there's none waiting in the elevator for me. Boop, boop, boop. And we draw weapon. Oh, okay, cool. Blooming hell. Leaving a secure facility. Oh, actually, let's go get that wherever it is first. Boop. Ow. Stop. Ah, there's a lot of people coming now. I should have been a bit more careful. There's some coming from behind as well by the looks of it. Alright, let's deal with the ones. Whoa, shit! It's gonna be another one. Frag grenades. Why would you drop that? What a dick. Get him. Tiger style. You better fucking watch yourself. I get Colin Farrell up in here. He won't take no fucking shit. Come on, come through. I know you're around that corner. Just come. Oh, maybe you weren't just around that corner. Alright, fair enough. I'll carry on escaping, I guess, for now. If you don't mind. If that's... yeah, if I'm allowed. Oh no, I need to go upstairs. How do I get upstairs? I was just downstairs in the lab, I think. Is there a set of stairs by the elevator or anything? I think that leads back through.
Let's fan out. Be quick about it.
Oh, just fuck it. I guess I'll come back in for that in a bit.
Hello, are you there? What happened?
Larson is dead. It's finished.
Thank
Oh, maybe I can get into it from out here.
one less liar in the world. Still though, I can't help but think of those AIs she created. Lobotomized, enslaved, shit.
Yeah, no,
The
right.
job's not over
She was
yet.
going to do it to like the
As
whole
long as we have
world.
each other's backs, we'll
What?
get it.
How can you not shoot through that?
Don't get soft on me now. This was a professional arrangement.
Just an entire plane. Look at that shit. They just.
Laters.
Okay, 404 chapter complete, and I've done the Albion chapter as well. Oh!
In the last adventure of Detective Bagley and his occasionally helpful human sidekicks, we discovered that a billionaire tech mogul and a war profiteer both had secret plots to exploit human suffering and murder thousands. A shocking twist, I know. Speaking of the people we most suspect, Mary Kelly's slave trade is bound to be any
Man,
day
he
now,
can jump
and we also
fucking
just
high.
received a distress
Mary
signal
Kelly,
from a
she's
coffee
our
shop
big
of all
bad,
places.
yeah. I was trying to think, I was
Maybe
like,
a Wi-Fi cable or something.
because part of me was like, this
Is that
best not be
something
like the end
relevant,
mission by any means.
Yes, obviously there's more to it than that, but I knew I had to make a joke or you'd just tune it out. I've marked both leads on your optic.
Okay, right. Let me check the map now. I'm pretty sure I've collected everything now. I'm pretty sure I've done all of the... well, I need to go around and double check I've done all the paste up, like the paint ups and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I've collected every fucking tech point. I know I've leveled up all my tech shit as much as I can. I'm pretty sure I've collected all of the money things that show on here now. So it's a little bit disappointing there was no challenge complete or achievement complete for any of that. Oh, there is a couple here, actually. Okay. Fair enough. And we do have some new main missions as well. Cool. Let's start with that one. Spy games. See ya. Oh. Yeah.
This is strange.
Yeah,
One of our servers
good
is being
shit.
pinged constantly from the Wi-Fi of a particular Star Roger coffee.
Okay.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, I thought it was noise at first too, but then I decoded the pings. It's Morse code. 3 letters repeating over and over.
Go on.
S-O.
T.
Wait for it. S.
Let's make some inquiries. Drop the location on my map.
Okay. And let's take the tube from all the way up here. And we're going to go to Woolworth Road. Not to be confused with Woolworths, which sadly is no more. Check my penis pic. Wait, let's see what she says.
Hey, Softy. You
Hey.
must be rubbing off on me, because
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say, you did go back there.
Stop! In the
I'm
name
glad
of
to know I can
love.
trust you lot. You're free to use the 404 hubs and complete contracts.
Oh, cheers. Thanks, love.
I'll be out there, fighting a good fight.
Good.
Hope I'll see you out there too.
No, I'm gonna avoid you.
Laters.
Oh, my frames.
I'm here. What now?
There doesn't seem to be
Will
any
you
obvious
slay
peril, does
someone?
there? Have a seat and I'll ping back the IP sending us the distress signal.
Okay, well, let me check these nerds out first. So he's a car washer. I don't know if... Can we buy cars in this, by the way? Like... I don't think you can, but I don't know if we can, like, upgrade cars.
We just keep running into each other.
Makeup. Pawnbroker. A police constable? Huh. What about you? Choreographer. Nice, nice. What about you? You're a wait staff. I would have never guessed. Don't call it a comeback! Isn't it making a comeback? Wait, isn't what making a comeback? I've already forgotten. Please feel free to refresh my mind. Welcome back, Mojo Baby.
What's the deal with this burner phone bollocks?
It's a cryptophone. It's secure.
My memory's just awful.
Every device on CTOS can be compromised. If we're overheard, we're dead.
The store?
Both of us.
Oh, wolves! Oh, wolves! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, apparently, I saw that article as well, but apparently it was a hoax. Yeah, apparently it was a hoax. I saw a thing saying that Wolves was going to try and reopen, but yeah, apparently the past people came out and were like, nope. It's a bit of a shame. Can't judge, forget my own name, everyone tattooed on inside my eyelids, right?
Good. I hit coordinates.
Just need to install some lights now,
in
and
that establishment.
good to go. Oh shit, what's a Samsung? You could do that in other games. There's been, to be honest, there's been less hacking in this one, I'd say. Like, in the old ones, you could, like, set people's phones off like that. There was a lot more you could do with traffic control. Like, you can't control any traffic lights in this. You could, like, I don't know. It feels like they've, like, the game... London itself has been done really nicely, and I'm hoping the missions are going to, like, keep going nicely, because, like, the rest of it, they've just kind of, like, you know, shorted out. Is this one of my boys? Because he's... It's not even one of my boys, he's just kitted out in West Ham gear anyway. How you doing, bruv? What are you about, mate? How you doing? How you doing? How do you... I just realised as well, I have lots of caps. I don't think I can... I haven't seen if I can wear them backwards. It's my boy. It's my boy. Wait, where did you get those shorts?
And Albion Securities.
Unofficially, SIRS
Yo, actually,
to read your
real
mind and
talk.
arrest you for having naughty thoughts.
Where did you get the claret shorts? I haven't been able to find claret shorts, only like blue ones.
Stop groups like Zero Day from doing terrorist shite.
How do I get the shorts he has? Did I just miss that in the sports line shop?
When you meet this guy, ask.
Yeah, like I've been wanting claret shorts because I've been having to wear like blue and claret shorts with my claret tops, which doesn't quite gel, you know. I feel like I should have proper claret shorts. Or white shorts. But...
For more than 60% of votes. Even our Prime Minister recently...
Some city gear. They're smart enough to not have that in this, you know. Oh, hello.
Broken Tech announced today that they are cancelling Daybreak, the neural mapping technology designed to allow people to live forever. A spokesperson for the company told press the decision to shutter the project was made out of respect for the memory of their founder, the late Sky Larson.
Oh, she
What
died.
the company has in store following the death of their illustrious leader remains to be seen.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks for interrupting my driving. Don't let your man speak. He has nothing good to say. Oh, god damn, that sounded like Ed Sheeran or some shit. Oh. What's going on, fam? That car's gonna have a life of its own. Yeah, that's right. This place looks nice.
We have a situation. Signs of a struggle. No trace of the
there?
SIRS contact.
Oh, there's a little bit of blood.
SIRS may be onto him. If you get access to the area's surveillance infrastructure, I can rebuild the scene in AR.
I'll see what I can do.
Alright. Another one of these, eh? Where the fuck does it go? Over there? Alright, hang on. Give me one of these. Give me one of these. Nice. Oh wait, I can talk to this person? You alright?
Alright, mate. What are you doing here?
I ain't seen nothing, Gov.
What do you mean?
Wait. You don't... Oh,
Why is some of you saying so much shooting flip phone in like 20 phase? Yeah, maybe they're just like easily blow upable, and that's why they did the flip. Or maybe flip phones came back. It's fashion circular and shit, isn't it? I said, ain't got no spare change. You ain't seen nothing. That means you saw something. That's a double negative. He needs to. That's probably why he's not a dictionarian like me.
Now return to the scene and I'll reconstruct what happened to our contact.
Alright, goddamn Bagley being pushy. I forgot the scene's over here, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna reconstruct. You.
That appears to be our contact.
What are you doing? Oh my god. There's weapons there. Oh, right, you got murdered. Oh, fucking hell, alright, calm down. Oh, there's a van there. Definitely got shot in the back.
Fucking hell.
And you're to
Yes,
blame.
It doesn't look like his best day, does it? Analyze the clues in the AR workspace to find out what happened to it.
Ain't shit but hoes and tricks. You know it. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's analyze this.
This is a
And then we'll do the sequel, analyze that in a moment.
Though he may not want to be.
He's still alive? I'm pretty sure you just crippled him then. You shot him in the spine. Bloody hell. Can I get in? I'm in.
They've taken our SIRS contact
Hey.
away, but they may still be nearby.
They forgot me.
I can reconstruct the vehicle's path from unsecured CCTV.
So I'd love to share their mechanics across series. I've already seen so much Assassin's Creed and Division things have gone, and yeah, right. That hologram memory thing is from the Division. Oh, is it? Man. It's like I said though, it feels like, and don't get me wrong, I haven't played many missions in this yet, so like, although I feel like I've done 2 chapters at least, so there isn't anywhere near as much hacking in this as there was in Watch Dogs 2 yet. And I'm hoping that picks up somewhat. Because it seems weird if they just straight drop mechanics. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, the fact I can't just blow people's phones up in their pockets. That was cool. I can't change traffic lights. Why can't I change traffic lights? You could in Watch Dogs 2. Maybe I should have driven for this.
No, this isn't right.
I'm getting my Mr. Bean car. Could you get out of my way, please? What's the point in the phone if someone come blowing up in your pocket? Right, exactly.
The reconstruction's nearly finished, and so's our contact if you don't hurry.
Well, I mean, I didn't realise I could just zoom past. Oh!
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. With me, Tash. It's hard to believe that there could be shortages of food and medicine in a remote country like ours. And yet...
Excuse me. Oh, no, they didn't come in here? Okay, shit, my bad, my bad.
Turned out to be just...
Sorry, my bad again, my bad again.
Today we're short of basic foodstuffs and vital medicine.
It looks like our contact's assailants stopped here, but I can't see them nearby. Let's analyze the data to see if we can...
Okay.
Our contact's assailants are switching vehicles to elude pursuers.
How's the driving in 2 and 3? Remember being really bad in 1?
Albion. Not Sirs.
I genuinely can't remember what the driving was like in Watch Dogs 2. Because it's been so long now since I played it. I can't remember what it was like on that now. The driving's not too bad on this. Like it's better than like Cyberpunk, for example.
I've completed a thorough
But I think it's a lot more intensive as well. Like if I'm playing this off stream, the driving's a lot more smoother. But like when I drive on stream, that seems to like kick the frames down a bit. Everyone hates on Aiden Pierce, but you love the dinosaurs again. See, I think maybe I should retry it again. I remember playing a bit of Watch Dogs 1, and I couldn't get into it. It was too dreary, I think. Yeah. But Watch Dogs 2 was the shit. Watch Dogs 2 was awesome. You know? You know. You were there. Did I just hit someone? Oh no, I'm hearing that voice. Oh no, there's a video up on my top right. Okay.
You're Malik, a SIRS officer and a leaky fucking twat.
We both crashed into that.
It's not me. I swear to God, please.
It ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe. Alright, what do you do? Duck and roll. Duck and roll. Oh, I didn't really tuck and roll very well. Alright. Murderer clock. Time to die. Yep. Drew says it's a positive. Yeah, I mean, I do like some Drewness in my games and that. It was the wackiness of Watch Dogs 2 I liked. It was like, I guess it was more bordering on like the older GTA games in a sense, but I liked Marcus as well. But a lot of the characters were very over the top. Whereas this one, they've tried to make like the characters more grounded in a way, but they've also just given them really bad accents. Get him.
Search the area. Check doors and corners. Go.
Check your doors and corners. Like shit in the dark, dank and gritty. Just like my sand. Oh. Oi, oi, Savaloy. Eh. Boop. Oh! Oh, thank God I landed there. I could have fallen down some stairs. That never goes well. Maybe I should crouch a little bit too, actually. Secret. Get him. Get him. That was a great jump. I didn't even know he was there. Wait, I need to go back upstairs. Oh, he's just there. Oh, hello. Boop. How did he not see me, man? You've got like massive armor and shit on. You should be a way better guard than you are. The code's inside the room? Oh my good God. Close enough, sweet. You alright, mate? I'll be with you shortly. Don't even know why I went into Watch Dogs 2 stream. I was never interested in the game. Fate brought me here. Yeah, that's it. Man just saw from a distance and was like, I know. I just know this is going to be a funky good time, you know. As James Brown more than once said, you know. We're going to have a funky good time. And shake your shoulders to feel the vibes.
And we're dead sick.
Here, put your glasses
You
on.
called us.
It's proof.
Of course.
You were shot in the spine. What the fuck happened?
You shouldn't have come here.
I swear he was shotgunned in the back.
Sure, I betrayed them.
We just saved your ass.
You got red on you.
Damned us both. Look, I'll upload the intelligence onto an anonymous FTP. They'll explain everything.
Actually, how about
Slam dunk the funk, putting it up. If you got that feeling.
My name is Richard Malik.
Fucking
I'm
tune.
an intelligence analyst.
I remember buying
I
that
believe
single.
Zero Day or rogue
Good stuff.
SIRS officers who framed you for the bombings to seize
All
power.
getting it bought for my birthday. I was quite young.
Murdering and blackmailing anyone who
And
tries
Zero,
to
my
reach out
boy!
somehow includes me.
Hey, boo.
We'll examine the
Hey,
intelligence.
you living, baby.
But I better not regret this.
That I can't promise.
Huh. Well, at least I didn't get any red on my white trousers. I was a bit wary about buying these white jogging bottoms, but
Malik has made his
Been
way
around.
out, and now I suggest you do the same.
always making suggestions.
You hear something?
Boop, 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 boop. That one didn't go smoothly, hey. I swear there was some flymobiles. Maybe I was looking in the mirror. Oh. Can I just jump out here? I feel like I should be able to jump out here, yeah.
He's a piece of work, but this could be big.
He's
Let's check the
dead.
intelligence, then make a call.
Oh, let's put our gun away. And murder this motorcyclist. Get him. Oh! Hey, bonus point for hitting another taxi. Taxi on taxi crime, yo. That's right, we'll send an ambulance to help. They might miss us. There we go. Now everyone's happy. Okay, let's follow this story. Let's just follow this chapter and then we'll follow the next chapter kind of thing.
I don't like it. We should walk away.
Definitely not. He needs our assistance.
May I present the third option? Just use him. An SRS whistleblower, even one you don't trust, could still help us find the arsehole that blew up.
Oh, that was a nice one. Oh, I nearly
You
tipped.
don't have to invite him to your birthday, just use his information.
The cars in the future are actually quite hard to tip, so when you do tip them, it's quite nice. Oh. And sometimes they try and fight us. You brought 5 single? Yeah, man, fucking A. I think I got it from like my birthday or some shit. I had their albums and shit too. I was young enough to like them. PJ and Duncan. I think PJ and Duncan. I think it was still literally PJ and Duncan before they were Ant and Dec. I think PJ and Duncan. What were they Ant and Dec? PJ and Duncan and/or Ant and Dec was the first album I bought with my money. Yeah, the first album I bought with my money. When I was super young, and then the first real single I bought with my money was Offspring's "Pretty Fly for a White Guy." That was the first actual single I bought, and then I remember after that like I'm pretty sure it wasn't long after that I got a Papa Roach Last Resort one, but it had this really cool like case for a single. It was like a brown paper case kind of thing, but with like still like inlays and shit. It was a really cool design for like a single and whatnot. Yeah. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Fucking tune. Fucking tune. Try and say something, you know. Your first CD you brought was Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. Nice, fucking A. You are like a good 12 years older than me, so that's fine, yeah. So basically I dressed everyone up in West Ham gear in the hope that when I came into here it was going to be like, yeah, let everyone's dressed in West Ham gear. Nope, not a single fucker is wearing their West Ham shit. In fact, it takes the piss. The Chelsea one is still wearing the Chelsea stuff and it's like, you disgust me.
How you doing?
Maybe I've lost the plot, but is there a reason we're working with Richard fucking Malik? Alright, whatever.
I think that is the old lady. I'm pretty sure that the old lady voice did her voice but trying to do a younger voice. You right? Oh yeah, you have side missions and shit, don't you?
DedSec, I got a call about a possible kidnapping.
Hey, man, how you doing there, buddy? Bitches on
Sounded
bitches.
like it was connected to something big.
Excuse me. When I was like 11 or 12, I remember I got near a train station in Birmingham on the way back home after being dragged there for a day by your mum for some reason. Oh, damn. Oh, and then you got it then? All I remember about the trip is coming back with Smells Like Teen Spirit. Fair. I remember when I was, like, young teens, like, the first thing I had of Nirvana, because I liked a few Nirvana tracks, but I hadn't heard too much. And I remember being in, like, a record store on holiday at some, like, beach, like, you know, like, you know, kind of thing, like one of those old record stores. And I remember I found, like, it was literally like a best of Nirvana. And to this day, I'm like, I still think it might have been knockoff. But it had, like, a seriously good amount of their tracks. So, like, I remember listening to that. And then I think it was that same holiday, I was just, like, I'd heard a couple of Chili Pepper songs that I liked. So I was like, I didn't know any of their albums at that point. It was still, you know, when you were like young and you just like, I've heard of that band, I'll buy that album because I like one song of theirs that might not even be on there. But I remember I got Uplift at the Mofo Party Pack. No, sorry, no I didn't. I got Mother's Milk. Mother's Milk was the first Chili Peppers album I got. And then it wasn't long after that I got, again, a completely wrong album. I really liked Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against Machine on Tony Hawk's 2. So I was like, oh, I should get Rage Against Machine album. So I got Evil Empire, which didn't even have Guerrilla Radio on, but was a sick album. You still got it, had cardboard cover and still has your name. Oh, yes, now they're wearing the West Ham shit on this. Okay, fucking A. Hardcover cover and it still has your name and class written inside the fountain pen. Fucking A. You bought Californication because Other Side and you hate the rest of the album and love it now, though. The first time I listened to Californication was, I remember there was this girl I really liked who was in like this, I did this like drama thing, like it was with like adults and kids. It was outside of school type thing. But like, yeah, this girl that was a couple of years older than me, I really liked her. But she was well into Californication and lent me like the CD. So I burnt that CD onto like a tape at the time because it was that far back. And yeah, I listened to the fuck out of Californication, that album. I loved that album so hard when I was younger. So hard. I mean, even now, a lot of the songs are just nostalgia blasts instantly, you know? Same with 100% Colombian by Fun Loving Criminals because of Scooby Stacks. Yeah, right? But look at this, cool. Now everyone is actually in their West Ham gear. He's wearing a West Ham bomber jacket. But as you can see, I couldn't find the claret shorts. But apparently, there was somebody wearing claret shorts. This isn't my whole crew either. I think if I press random, it will just, put more in. Yeah, sweet. So now you can see it's my crew of West Ham fans. Fucking hooligans. There's Boxhead. Nice, nice. That's it. We got a new firm going, bruv. Nice, cool. Well, that's good at least. It's just, yeah, it's a shame that, like, they're not wearing their stuff now. I can talk to everybody at the moment. Usually can only talk to, like, the first person.
How you doing?
I just read Sky Larson's death notice. Almost forgot what bitch she was.
Oh.
You know, we did good work, but come on.
Insane clown Fosse?
A lot of people are dead.
Oh, Inner City Firm.
Listen, it was a job we had to do, nothing more.
That's fine for you. Personally, when someone as bad as her is gone, I raise my glass.
You don't even have a glass.
Whatever.
You don't even have a top. Sort your life out, mate. I'm gonna be repping DeadSec. What are you saying? You don't want to say nothing. You've gone quiet all of a sudden, hey? I don't know who half these people are. Have I actually recruited all of these people? Oh wait, is this the 404 chick?
Surprise, you twat.
Hey.
Between my work with 404 and tracking down Sky Larson's neural map nightmares, I thought I could...
Do you want me to get you some West Ham kit? That's why she's come. She wants the free West Ham gear that everyone else is
I
getting.
just clocked a hit and run by a black cab.
Oh shit.
Happened a while ago, but the news ain't picking up on it.
Why would it?
What's that supposed to mean?
News never
I
picks
don't
up on
know.
hit and runs. There's
Maybe because
blatantly
all
like
these
loads of
black
hit and runs
cabs are
that happen.
driverless, run by AI.
Especially with us controlling shit. There's been ridiculous amounts of hit and runs. Why would I even chase that up? It's us who've done it. You all right there? You good? You having fun on your phone? You're just enjoying sitting down, right? Yeah, good on you. He's really good at sitting down, actually. I think he has a certificate. He like definitely trained for it. Yo, no private calls on work time. Hang up. Some people. Some people. That's what the Wham Hooligan firm was called, yeah. Yeah, I know there's still like the old remnants of it and that, and if there's a Millwall match, they will come out of the woodwork. But yeah, for the most part, I think they're done. Most of the firms are, like, you know. But yeah, that is what they were called, yeah. We saw about this massive black guy who was an ICF main man. Nice. I should watch more. I used to watch a lot more about it, but I haven't seen any in ages now. But it's like pretty much any movie that includes English football made in like the like late 70s to 90s is West Ham. Just because it's always hooligan shit. Like, what was it? Oh, I'm probably gonna get them wrong now, but it was like ID, Scum. One of those was a Ray Winston one that he was a West Ham fan. But even up to like fucking Green Street and shit. Like, there's way more West Ham stuff about their hooligan fans than there is about West Ham, like in movie form and shit.
Never left London, which means Zero Day is planning a bombing that will make those earlier bombings look like a bonfire.
Yeah, there's probably loads on YouTube actually. Yeah, even just like home footage type stuff of it.
False flag attacks are a common propaganda tool for despots.
It's savage though. It's crazy thinking like that shit used to go down. Like, I wouldn't want to go to those matches. Fuck
Which means
that.
we both want to discover who's pulling Zero Day strings and stop them.
We need to get hold of the personnel dossiers of anyone connected.
ID is good. Yeah, I remember liking it. I just haven't seen him for years now. Like proper long. Was ID the one with Ray Winston?
In charge of Zero Day.
And I'll be on the comm to observe.
So if Malik's right, Zero Day are some kind of shadowy cabal of spies who blew up half the city to secretly take control of the government.
Why not?
But now they're pissed off that someone's standing up to them so
Whoa!
they need to do it again.
The fuck was that?
That's awful.
I agree.
What just happened?
Come up with something besides another bombing. Bit of a double beat, isn't it?
Did my character just suffer a stroke?
This?
Did I suffer a stroke? Did y'all see a bright light?
Victim blaming shit.
Is
I'd rather
death
get
coming
blown
for
up
me?
1,000 times than lie down just so some wannabe
Okay, it's
tyrants
awful.
can stamp on my face.
Come on now. Looks like someone's tried doing math in the back of her head. Albert Einstein just sat behind her and was like carving away. Oh, I didn't press a button to enter that. But apparently I haven't read this one. Okay. The good news is before the cops had cameras and started giving out custodial sentences. Yeah, right. Can't remember who's in it. Had it on your old PC years back though, fair. Like 5 PCs ago. Yeah, doesn't that annoy you that like there's so much shit I used to have on my old like laptops and stuff, but it was never, especially back in the day, I never got like a new laptop or anything because I needed a new laptop. Well, not because I wanted a new laptop or, you know, just a general upgrade. It was always because my previous one had died a horrible death and I desperately needed a new one now because all of my shit has gone. And that just happened like multiple times over multiple devices. Now it's better. Now I've actually got like a PC that I can take care of and shit. It should be dandy. Like, I shouldn't ever have that sort of thing just happen again now. But I also used to burn the shit out of my laptops, like the heat that used to run off those. Were always replacements for death, including this one. Yeah, right, yeah, that's it. Oh shit, I'm actually I feel a bit bad when I actually end up stealing on this because there's so many, like, so many free cars.
Auto drive now enabled.
Technologies might suggest routes to use in the city, places to go, restaurants to go to, cafes to go to, music to listen to. And these suggestions are not just predicting what we might like to do, they're actually influencing the way citizens move, think, eat.
Every laptop you had died. Yeah, same, man. There's a couple that I had that were really cool, like, and I would have loved to have been able to keep, but they just... I mean, at the same time, it is kind of my fault a lot of them fucked up. Like, I would have, like, all my laptops, I'd try and, like, my last laptop, for example, it was a fairly decent laptop when I got it. Like, it was like 300-400 quid when I brought it, like, new. It was like the first ever brand new laptop I'd ever bought. I was well happy with it. But I used to play games on it, like Fallout New Vegas and shit. Oh.
Good. Let's talk tactics.
Viral hacking
uses a supercomputer called Filament to process information drawn from the CTOS network.
Add her to the team.
It's like Noodle, if you could use it to search every document on every civilian,
come on, me, bro. No, actually, fuck that, fuck that. I lost.
Fucking hell.
You can be horrified if you want, but it saved thousands of lives.
But you've only had one tower, and if you still had it, it'd probably switch on with 98 loaded on it. Yeah, that's it, man. Fully. Virus to fuck though, yeah. But imagine that old school porn you got, and you could instantly look at it now. You wouldn't have to like wait years for it to actually load up. What do you think of my penis? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Okay, so at least he knew what it was. These aren't the doors I was looking for. In fact, none of this is what I want. Okay, shit. Okay, so that's where we want to get. What's up here? Do they have a spoon? No, I can't reach that. Do they have a spider bot? I need to fly up there, basically. Alright, I need to find a pad. Oh, like that one over there. Where is the thing to call it? It should be right there, right?
Control. Pressing a lockdown. Possible hacked vehicle.
Add this pad.
Control, I'm starting a search. Someone's hacked the vehicle.
Betray. Betray. We are keeping you safe. Oh, you son of a bitch. Get over the fence, please. All I need you to do is this. Boop. Now come back to Papa. This car's in my way. I need space. A sweet porn collection on there, about 50 videos, and each took like a week to download. Yeah, right, yeah. I bet now as well, if you look back at them, it'd be so tame. Like, you'd be like, oh shit, man. How times change. I'm gonna hide here because then they'll just think I'm a bird from afar. Okay. Fly, fly. Okay. Let's look at some security video footage. Oh my god. Hello, buddy. Access personnel files.
So this is Filament. Impressive. I can help you break in, but we're going to leave a trail. Unless, of course, Malik has an idea.
There. I persuaded Filament Security to log that Spiderbot's activity as system maintenance.
Are all Sir's spooks as helpful as you?
It's not like the movies. Spies aren't the police. I believe in working with the lesser evils like DedSec to protect society from
Hey, we're not lesser.
ones.
So why did Zero
Just
Day
as evil
kill
as
all my
anyone.
friends?
There are differing schools of thought.
Aha. Oh shit! No! Ah, this one doesn't have double jump. Just be easier to follow it and go along like this. Oh fuck you! Oh, I hate these ones. I don't know what's happening next. I can't see it. Ah. I can't get there in time. Okay, I think we did it. We did it. Whew. It scares me that the kids are watching Pornhub when we watch Treasure Channel 5. Yeah, man, we had to wait for like. Well, we didn't even see like proper shit. You know what I mean? We were like had to be like, cool. We'll wait until like 12 to 3 a.m. We might see some boobs. Might see some boobs. We might, if we're real lucky, if it's Eurotrash or if Channel 5 has, you know, pushed the boat out on this production, you might see a little muff. But that's it. That is it. Some petting, you know, but nowadays I just go, yeah, just go straight to like DP and shit, you know. Fucking kids these days. Let's go get that money. Get him.
I have the spy list.
Right, so we do a simple CTOS contact analysis and work out who's in charge of Zero Day. I'll have it done before you can say Guantanamo.
Guantanamo.
I'll handle the classified data, thank you very much.
It would be so much faster if I worked with you in order to do this.
The people in these dossiers are connected, but not necessarily complicit. It will take intelligence.
We have intelligence. Intelligence up to yin yang. Investigate the black cab thing. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that one. And it's just new mission? What is new? Is that in here or? Maybe it's one of the side missions? Just new mission. Maybe I should check that out. Let's finish this story.
To separate the wheat from the chaff. And when I discover something actionable, I will contact you.
He's disconnected.
What is chaff?
Pleasant fella.
Like I know even in Sunny they were arguing about who wanted to be wheat and who wanted to be chaff. Like, I assume wheat is the good thing and chaff's bad, but what the fuck's chaff? SR? Song... Oh, Stream Raiders! Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
Patch him through.
Hang on.
We have to meet. There's been a complication. I can't access the files you stole.
Oh.
Say again.
The files
And I'll do it in just a second, mate, dude.
After we got them, I received this.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you want me to actually read that? Piece of shit.
Hello, Richard. We see you're trying to find us by looking into our associates. That's a good idea.
Oh, there we go. That's a good idea.
Hope you don't mind if we borrow.
Find the same thing yourself. Why wouldn't you want to be the chap? Why wouldn't you want to be the chap? Okay, let's do Stream Raiders quick, guys. I'm also going to save the game quick. So, I'm going to do this. We got 4 of us, myself and a mighty. We got this. EZ. DJ EZ. We got this, we got this. Just survival, mighty, because there's no way I'm surviving myself here. Oh no. Oh no, this doesn't look great. This doesn't bode well. Well, shit. Fuck it, we might as well start a new map. We've only done 1 level. Yeah, fuck that noise. Let's go. Okay, so we will go. We'll go that way, and then we can get 2 chests. Oh, my fault. I was like... Supreme. That's what they said to me. Anyway, get your troops down. We're going to do it. This one's going to be straight fireworks. Yeah. Works like fire. You never checked, but you always assumed it was like the waste shit, like the husk or stems. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that would be the most logical, I would have thought. Okay, let's go to Camden. See where the man dem.
I've sent Bagley the coordinates for a meeting. I hope I don't need to explain why this is a priority.
Houses, packed streets.
Internet celebrity. Huh. Cutthroat model found, gets away with a well-stashed SMG. Press J. Cutthroat model. A model that cuts throats.
Used are things like heat map features which show where populations are gathering.
Okay, here's my stop. Be free, taxi. Live without me now. Poor little bugger. Oh shit, yeah, there's lots of shops here. Right, Camden Market, good shit, good shit. Gotta meet the dodgy fuck behind Camden Market. What's going on there? Oh, a 404 contract, okay. This is from Urban, something that is of low quality and trashy. The opposite of swanky from the Bible reference, separating the wheat from the chaff, so Mojo pretty much got it. Okay, cool. Chaff would no chaff, that's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying. What we got in this shop? Nothing going to be better than what I'm already wearing, let's be completely honest. Yeah, it's pretty chaff shop, you know. I want a wheat shop. No time to waste, everyone, go on. Get to it, you got work. Especially you. Get to work. Double death. Oh my god, they're carrying him with them.
Really?
You should probably get out of here too, you don't want to be there. Oh no, is that the motorcyclist? Did he just get knocked sideways? Okay. Okay, actually, let's get to missions, otherwise I'll just sit here and do that all the time. Oh, I did want to get those quick, actually, didn't I? Fuck it, I get enough time. So, we have quite a few side missions we can do now as well. I don't know if they're just like reoccurring ones or not. Let's do a couple of the side missions though and see what happens. Okay, London Bridge. Hope it's not burning down. I need this car, please. Thank you.
Why do you think it grew so quickly?
In my mind, it's no surprise that Bagley became so popular. It's funny, useful, fast. It's a great companion and really just makes life so much easier. I mean, when you look back at all the service AIs that used to exist, they just weren't complete.
Oh shit!
When you ask Bagley,
there's the odd car. Like I find there's a couple of cars that are meant to be like petrol cars rather than like electric ones. You can kind of tell, and those ones actually do drive a lot better.
For a whole 24 hours, and no one even noticed the difference.
Oh, I smashed my car. Here's my money now. Get him.
You're in. Now find the thing.
I'm in. I feel like I'm still very much outside, but get out my way. Hey, that's us. Hey, you. I don't think I get in. Oh, wait, I think I have to go down here to get in, don't I? Yeah. Get him.
They can't be far. Find them.
Who said it's clear? Pretty sure it's not clear.
That's the target. Should be hackable.
Nice, nice, nice. It's a get to hacking.
Transfer complete.
Okay. Escape! Motherfucker. Just got the front door. It wasn't that hard to get in. Put my gun away, in fact. Nice. Fucking help US. Why? Why not Britain? Jeez. What are you saying?
Interesting. Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, girl. Alright, I found my one. Let's go. You're married to me now. Yeah, she knows me well. You from above. Work it. Okay, Westminster, let's go. Whoa, 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 not you. You're a fun car.
Feel important knowing that I'm being watched with everything I do, Andy.
Well, it's just not reassuring, isn't it? It's like having an extra.
Get past it. Couldn't get past it. Well, I did get past it actually, so I was right.
The other that gets drunk at Christmas and vomits in the kiddie pool, right?
Hi, friend. How are you?
The bug on the Buccaneer. Let's move on now to sport.
So, I hear you've been trying to reach DedSec.
Yeah, what do you want?
Are you really DedSec?
Yeah.
I could pass on a message.
Can't you tell by my West Ham
Thank
football
God.
kit?
Listen, my friend and I, we got in with this radical, a visionary, really. Big plans to do a lot of damage, change things, but she swapped tactics.
Oh no.
Now she wants to kill people.
What do you
We
mean?
do plenty of that.
I know it sounds crazy, but she's holding my friend captive. You've got to find her and stop whatever she's planning before...
The situation could be fixed. I'll pass the message along.
Are we not going to do anything about it? Just going to pass it along.
I don't mean right wing.
Have you found anything, Bagley?
Yes, it checks out. SMS history corroborates what they've told us, and
Oh,
I've been
maybe
able to
dizzy,
trace the
fucking hell.
location of that last text message to its sender.
Let's make some inquiries.
Trousers
Pushing
are
the coordinates
funky.
now.
Okay, how far away are they? Not too far away. We'll drive.
Bugley. And remember, life's worse with Bugley. Here goes. Bugley.
Hello, Andy.
Bugley, tell me the path to true lasting happiness.
To find true lasting happiness, find a dictionary.
I found a load of the artists who worked on this game on ArtStation the other day as well. Man, it is seriously insane what like they got done.
How many seashells does she sell by the seashore?
Alice, most of the seashore is now uninhabitable, so I would highly recommend she sees
Oh, no, we turned that fine. That's fine. We didn't die. Did someone else just die?
Stop worrying about being disappeared by Clan Kelly every
Not my fault if they died. They should have wore a non-death helmet. Like this guy. Should have wore a non-death helmet. I don't know why people don't wear non-death helmets like I am. They're great. Mm-hmm. I mean... I've definitely missed... Oh, here we go.
You want to die today?
I thought you were just a random civilian, to be honest. I didn't mean to cause you any misharm. Fuck, fuck, fuck.
Fuck this, you're dead!
You don't know where I came from. Oh my god. Explosions? Fucking ass. Her last words ever were fucking ass.
That's her. Get her out of here.
I'll do what I want. I want what I do. Hey, how you doing?
Right, get her out.
Sure. You're free to do what you want, as long as you're running out of here. Fuck, I missed your head. Hang on. You won't. You don't have the life to do it. Is this the best way out? And I'm just going to reassess our... No, I think we should go over here, actually. Come back down here. Come back down here. What do you mean hostage can't reach me? Come back. You're here! Stop farting around. See, that was like stealthy, right? That's like one of the stealthiest things I've done in this game. I do like using cars as cover. Oh, hello. Stealth. See? Stealth. 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 Double stealth. Oh, he's not dead. He should be. Come on, hostage. You can jump that, right? Yeah, good stuff. I was worried there. Hey, is this meant to be like a
I don't see anyone following
Ford
you.
Focus or some shit? It looks like a Ford. They're not going to find us, don't worry. Totally Reliable Delivery Service comes out first. I actually want to play that. I'm pretty sure I got it for free on Humble, not Humble, Epic. After like wanting it for ages as well. Yeah, I really want to try a Totally Reliable Delivery Service. It looks like a lot of fun. I remember seeing like a YouTube video or something yonks ago on it.
If that bomb goes off, we will have significant casualties.
Don't let the bomb go off then, though, hey? Royal Court of Justice. Honey trap. Everyone likes honey. Yeah, right. Just derpy shit, basically, but... I saw it when it was like, I think it was still like pretty early as well, so they probably have added a lot more. It wasn't like, it hadn't been released when I saw like footage of it. It was like a YouTuber or someone I saw was like playing like an early version.
Hey,
So yeah, I can imagine it's probably got like a lot more shit now.
Alerting your narc children and their tracking devices.
Please hold still, Alice, while I report you to the authorities.
Ugly, will things ever get better?
Remember, you're looking for a van stuffed with explosives that are probably as stable as a one-legged mule in an abusive relationship. So if you get into a firefight, try to steer around the bullets.
I can keep a plan in my head, thanks.
Kill everybody, use my gun. I think that's what I just heard, right?
I should probably mention that the bomb is armed and currently ticking down to detonation, so I would hurry up, unless you're curious about what it'd be like to become an oily pink mist.
I'm in the wrong place. I needed to... Don't mind me. I was meant to be down here. I didn't even need to go into all this issues.
How am I supposed to get through this mass of people? Vehicle acquired.
Oh shit, oh shit.
Oh, I don't really care what you do with it. If you wanted to avoid casualties, you could drop it in the river, I suppose.
I can't get out. I can't get out. I'm just going to have to plop it here.
However, and well, finally,
We're going to rotate the latest update.
Oh shit! Because I shouldn't have gotten. I shouldn't have gotten to the van until I fucking unlocked this goddamn door. Oh shit. Okay. How did it not let me take her out? What the fuck?
They're long gone. Tag logo cameras, maybe they're on CTOS.
Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's down there. Oh, it's all the way over there. Okay. I was browsing Steam a bit ago and came across. Let's look at Hello Neighbor. Oh, is it the same div as Hello Neighbor? Okay, that's cool. Oh, I had no idea. That's pretty sick. Because I think Hello Neighbor is kept with updates and stuff, right? So like, and they definitely made a few games from it and shit. So, oh, I've just started. I hate it when you like go into auto mode on games, and I started following the checkpoint rather than where I needed to go over here. Right, let's hope that unlocks this door. That didn't do it. What the fuck? Oh, I've got to get into that other room now, haven't I? Shit. How long have I got? save. Oh yeah, 120. Shit. I'm not gonna get this into the Thames by then. Everyone's gonna die. Open, open. Wait, what the fuck? Where's the thing to open the door? I thought it was in here. Is it done? No, where's the one for that then? That's where my spider bot pretty much is it not? Oh, it's right there. Fuck me. We've got 30 seconds. Shit. I'm not even by the van. I don't know the quickest way to the river either.
Family, you just dock them in and be done with it.
Just have to hope for the best.
But it could backfire. I mean, the thing is with a family, inevitably parents and their children, they end up squabbling and you know.
I didn't do that very well. Run!
Well, that works. The river would have been safer, but I guess this was easier on the fish.
Yeah, that wasn't even that bad. That would have blown off like a car or two. Why did I have to do with that? It counted, apparently. It's fair. Couldn't bear it. There's going to be a later time crossover where you can play as neighbor and release. Oh, really? That's cool. Wait, is Totally Reliable Delivery Service just properly come out now, then? So that's cool. Locate the bomb and van, and I have. Oh, was there more? Is there multiple? I've already failed so bad on the first one. On Steam at least. Ah, okay. Yeah, good shout. It may well have been, yeah, they may well have released it on Epic early kind of thing.
I see the vehicle. I'll try to defuse it without setting the bloody thing off. It's on the move.
Now that I know what kind of bomb we're dealing with, I can defuse it remotely. All you have to do is stay close enough to it that you'll be reduced to savoury jam if it goes off. Any questions at this stage?
Copy that.
Let me stay on it. If I'm on it, it seems to not want to move, so that's good. Back away! Back away! Lives are at stake.
Bomb defused. What a relief.
Alright, sweet. Go about your day.
Now we can target Grimwood. What intel do we have, Bagley?
Would you believe that
I don't know why I could make it turn left, but nothing
on the
else.
vehicle's onboard computer?
I guess syncing your playlist has drawbacks if you're on the lam.
Word of warning. You've got more than a terrorist leader to worry about. There are several armed explosives on the site.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just trying to show you my dick. So destroy or disarm the explosive, neutralize Enid Grimwood. Okay. I'll do my best. Watch out. Told him. It was his fault. I'm glad he appreciated it. Don't hit me. I didn't say stop, did I? Jeez. Oh. Get that out of the way. No one needs that.
This is the building site Enid Grimwood is running her terrorist activities out of. Time to work, operative. Bombs or Enid. Take your pick.
Whichever wants to die first, I guess. Oh, that's me. Don't worry about it. I have a tag. I have the day pass. He's called off the search. He called off the search. That was your own fault. You shouldn't have been carrying on. Is it like here? Oh, it's in there maybe. Oh shit. Okay. How do I get in there? Not that way. This way. Oh shit, I didn't want to be this close to it. Oh, I can just defuse it? I thought I had to explode them. Okay, well that's cool. Oh, stairs are over there. Cool. That person just seeing me run around and just apparently doesn't care. Oh. Oh, I might as well take that key card.
All bombs destroyed in a safe, if not terribly spectacular way.
One of them I blew up, yeah, the others were safe. I might as well kill this person whilst I'm here though, right? Boss is dead. I'm just gonna go home for the day, I think. I mean, that would be my first instinct. Shit. Oh! Brace you. You're slow as fuck, bro. No, no, no! Oh, come on. I mean, I probably won. I'm safe. I'm safe. No one can get me now. I'm in a bus lane.
I've got someone else. It's my son. Let's call him Norris.
Bombs destroyed. Bomb-led psychopath out of commission. I think we can put a line through this one.
Nice.
DedSec, I hereby declare the Enid Grimwood case closed. Well done.
Cheers.
It's really rather frustrating. The only way anything gets done anymore is if people go out there and bypass the system entirely. I'll be as happy as anyone when Albion and the like are off the streets. But things won't be back to normal until the rule of law is restored.
Delve into what we most
Cool beans, so that one's done. We might as well do theirs.
About the old days.
Oh yeah, this one for investigate the accident, which is just hilarious because again, even just in this one little drive here, I've created so many accidents. It probably was me who did the thing. Am I just going to investigate myself?
If it's the new colour scheme, or if it's just that it symbolises the loss of everything.
Oh, I thought I'd avoided her, but apparently I killed her. Excuse me?
Irritates the hell out of me.
Oh, this is the scene I needed to worry about. Okay, I think I need to speak to you. Do you see what happened at the scene? Excuse me, sir? Oh, fuck you then, you don't exist.
This dead human downloaded lines
Oh my god,
of
that's a
code from
human?
the Black Cab network mere moments before dying. It appears the network has been tampered with, and poorly. This code is amateurish, crammed in there like a pack of crayons in a dim child's nose. There's even a comment attached to the code.
What does it say?
No words,
I'll
just
get all these police out of here. I want to talk to the
corpse
corpse myself.
Useful data.
Are you saying some hacker is controlling all the black cabs in London and using them to kill people?
Exactly, but I need more data to be sure.
All right.
It's 100% me.
Track down some of these rogue
Get away from my
tabs
car.
and start collecting bit strings. Perhaps if we're lucky, that will lead us to our hacker.
There we go. At least we got out of the way. It's easier for the AA to come get off the street now. I don't really want that car anymore either. Oh, have I just got a download from Black Cabs? Yo 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 yo. Hold up. Oh wait, I could just do it to you, right? Hang on. Excuse me. Oh shit! Oh, bollocks! 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 Okay, yeah. I got greedy. I'll accept that. And come over this way.
What have we got, Bagley?
Cool, park them
Same
up.
crude code with bit strings in a comment. I'll try converting them.
That's it. No, don't, you're parked, you're not allowed to leave.
All we ask, let us...
What was that?
All we ask, let us.
Came from an
That's
audio
very
file,
clear.
and not, as I suspected, from someone kicking their keyboard down a spiral staircase.
I'll
Hack
just
another
plug that
cap,
bitch
and I
in.
can decode the rest.
No, come on! It's like you knew. Fine. I'll go for this dude. They got better data.
The audio file. Let's see.
Oh, wow, they managed to get off that quite nicely.
Tech employees, your employees being run over by your product. Don't you want what's best for your employees?
Sky Larson knows full well what is best for her employees, Lieutenant, and that is why the Black Caps will remain operational.
But surely taking the caps offline wouldn't affect your bottom line?
All we ask is for Albion's cooperation as we
What's wrong
resolve
with?
the situation internally. Let us worry about our bottom line.
What?
Oh!
Product is killing its own workers.
I've gone over all the victims of Black
Yeah,
Cabicide, and
nice.
they all have two things in common.
That's probably why none of the black caps have been driven by humans. They're fed up.
Oh dear. Does that mean this murderous AI is actually one of Sky's neural mapped victims?
That's right, a former cabbie. Brokotech partnered with the city to automate their cabs, and now the cabs are getting their revenge.
Oh, nice. It's got its like Delamain.
Us. So what can we do?
We still need to find this AI's location. Hack into another cab and I'll see if it has a readable user history. Download complete. It appears the code alterations have been coming from a
Oh wait, I think it was still
garage in
finishing the
Westminster.
previous
I can't
voice
believe
and
we're
things.
actually going to help those twisted nutters at Brokotech. Then again, do they deserve to die just because Sky Larson is an evil fuck?
She was an evil fuck.
Creator-creation
She's
relationship can
murderfied
be a
now.
dark and complex thing. See Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh shit, Mocha! Thank you very much for the 95 Fizbits. Cheeky mechanical spider makes me lol. Yeah, right, it's so cute. I generally, I hate spiders. Generally, I have a major hate and fear of spiders in the most part. But this little buddy, who I call Desiro. His name's Desiro. He's fucking adorable. But he's only got 6 legs, and I'm wondering if that's it. Maybe it's those 8, like those 2 extra legs on that 8-legged spider that really fuck us up. That being said, like, because I always used to live in like a flat, so I didn't get as many spiders. When I did, it was worse. Now I live on like a ground floor, like bungalow. I get spiders all the time, and there was actually a spider in my bathroom that I was kind of chill with, you know. And it died naturally, and I was like, wow, you're like one of the first spiders I've allowed to like live its whole life in my house. You're lucky, buddy. Get down the drain. But how you doing today, Mocha? From the looks of things, it's been out in a year on Epic. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right, actually, doesn't it? They usually do like a year-long, exclusive. I really want, like, I'm really annoyed that they haven't announced even that they might put Tony Hawk on Steam. I had nothing about that. I don't want to buy it on Epic. I want to play it on Steam. I want those achievements, Joe. Excuse me, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. Take a look at my penis. Oh, I do not have enough juice to send you my penis. I don't. Fuck. I'll try and find that guy later and send him a dick pic. It's all good.
That's my fault.
You have arrived at the Black Cat parking garage and repair facility. We're here to find that AI and get it to stop plotting GPS routes through Brokotech employees.
Can I just lob my spider into there? No, that's glass, isn't it? Right, okay. Let's hack. What are you saying? Pulling your underwear out your butt crack. Nice. Have a dick pic.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Is that... What? Your connection to Ubisoft has been lost. I was aware that they were doing an update on the server, but... Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, 7:30. It says in the top right they're doing a scheduled online downtime for 30 minutes. I was going to say, if we can't play during that time, that's bullshit. I guess it's just no, like, cloud saving for now? We should be good. I need to... Ooh, I need to murder. Oh, Stream Raiders is ready. Hang on, let me, And it's gone. Alright, Stream Raiders, fucking hell. Okay, we'll do Stream Raiders now. Bloody hell. Impatient thingy, hey. Okay, so, alright, we got 10 allies this time. Oh, we gonna wreck shit. So, I am gonna put Killing Field on for you guys, because there's more of a cluster there. Let's fight. Well, you got free troops in there, Almighty. That's all good, dude. Oh, I just realised I didn't want to put that bomb down. The bomb isn't bomber, which is annoying. We might fail this one, you know. I don't know. These guys are doing pretty well. Almighty's Berserker's holding out pretty nicely. Is that another Berserker? Berserkers are the best. They're good stuff. I mean, this Berserker's holding it. We got to see, can it do it? Oh, it's getting zapped big by the big dudes. Oh no, we're going to have our second loss in a row. Oh no. Oh no. Savage. And Almighty got 47 kills in that and we still lost. God damn. We might as well start a new map because that's the first level. Right, let's try again. One skull. Very easy. We got this. We got this. We were born for this one. Let's just fuck this bastard up quick and go get some ice cream. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
You suck!
A little bit. And hey, I'm only allowed to put one troop down actually, so in all truth, I'm probably the best. Alright. Nope, I messed up on my lefts and rights. Please carry on. Keep going. No, you're a... Yep. Okay, turn again. That's it. You got this, you got... Ah, no, you overturned. Style it out. Ah. Alright, let's try it again. Alright. Now go forward. Forward. Bear right. Forward. Yeah, there you go. You're good. Why would the security alarm trigger, though? For something that, Oh, shit, really? Come on. Race against time. Don't do it to me. Ah, oh, motherfucker. I was so close. Oh, wait, I can get it from here? Oh, sweet. Okay, cushy. Open sesame. Oh yeah, I've still got my spider. You got this, Desiro. Nope, wrong thing. Just, yeah. No, stop moving, please. Please stop moving. Stop moving. Damn, they got no respect. No, just stop it. Hang on. In fact, help me out here. That's better. Hi, do you have the time? I think I've lost my time. Thank you. Get some every time. Like, well, I don't know how to find time. Oh, hello. Sorry. He hesitated, and he didn't get me. I'm gonna kill this dude with a car. No, I'm not. I'll distract him with a car. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. My bad. I was just trying to get the bumblebee that was on his shoulder. But does he appreciate that? No. Do you know what? Let's fuck it.
Live alarm. Location sent. Need a 1013.
That's right. Don't worry about it. Why would you come here without a gun?
Core temperature rising. You can't do this to me. I've been a cabbie all my life. I've got the knowledge. Please.
You got the look. You got the power.
Kill them, I'll do it. Bloody automation. Unauthorized access. Boot vehicles on local network. Initiate signal interference.
What is going on?
The AI is rerouting computer power to jam the deletion process. Insert tired jam-related wordplay here.
Oh. Could you stop, please? What's wrong with y'all? Did that work? Is that what I was meant to do? Why is the signal blocked? What do I have to do? Oh, destroy the vehicle jammer. Okay. Oh, fucking hell. They're getting serious. Tis but a scratch. Too, but my fucking drone isn't doing shit, man. Betrayed you because you were going to betray me. Oh, hello.
Something dodgy going on. Lock it down.
Where'd my car go? All the way down there? Just take out their whole facility. It's the best way to be stealthy. Don't hurt no mo. No mass. Right, cool. Right. Oh, I can help. Release you from the mortal coil. Oh. You're deaded.
How much? Not much choice. Can't turn down. Where? I sign? What kind of house? Am I? I can't see.
Shit house.
To drive again? Let's do it.
Oh shit.
Signal interference failed. Reboot. Help me.
I've isolated the source of the signal, Jack.
Bitch better have my
Bitch better have my money. Hey, don't I need baby? Why'd you guys keep... Stop trying to come for me. Just leave me to do my thing. What's wrong with them? Why are they so mean? So incredibly mean. Also, I can't seem to get it from up here. Oh, here we go, here we go. Can it do any of them? Is it already upside down or some shit? Got there eventually. Oh man, I'd pray if they didn't shoot me. You know? Sort of thing that causes trust issues. Is that car meant to be on its side? Where is this nerd? Oh, there's double nerds.
That's disconcerting. Lock it down.
Just, god damn it. Oh shit, he's got a shotty. I just need to get down there and blow that car up, but it's the wrong direction, so I can't just drive it. Oh shit, I didn't mean to unarm it. Let's just skip that. Oh no, that's too many floors. Oh shit, wasn't too bad. No, left. Oh shit, hang on. Do you know what I'm glad to hear? Odd hat choice, this is my mask. They'll never know who I am, because Because of how secret.
Please shut.
How secret we are.
Network operational. Changed my mind. Run diagnostics. She did this. It was her. Override code. I will find.
Throws a Heinen at Einen. Get him. Another bloody one. Oh, okay. Well, that was actually easier. I didn't see that one there.
That stuck the banana up the tailpipe. Every black cab in London just came to a stop. Now scarter or they'll kill you for sure.
Scar! Put my gun away now. I'm a conscientious objector. Oh, come on. No. Don't be doing this. Not here. Oh my good god. Oh my god. I was trying to be nice. Let me in the fucking car. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's what I'm saying. Alright. Let's get the real guns out then. Let's go for a girl. I mean, I succeeded, right?
Taken into Albion custody. So long as you don't cock up that badly, you'll be my favourite operative today.
Shit. Alright, guys. Let's go help out
I'm
our
never
bedroom.
going to cock up badly. Get to safety failed, but I did everything
and
else.
immediately started again. They must have reverted to an older backup system.
And immediately
Initial reports indicate that they've lost their killer instinct. Do you think the AI was trying to kill Sky Larson? Was that its ultimate goal?
Maybe. Guess we'll never know. All I can say is that
Okay, I
AI
think we
looked
still
like
did
it
it.
was raging and taking it out on the poor public, like a madman or a woman, whatever it once was.
Mad. Fiend. Where's that music coming from? Barrister found. Gets
Your
arrested
somewhat
operator at
reckless
jail
teammate
faster.
has got themselves thrown in the old clink, I'm afraid. Difficult to resist oppression from behind bars. It will be a while before they're available. Pro tip, however.
Yeah.
Why not recruit a barrister to the team?
Why not?
I mean, no one exactly likes a barrister, but they do have their function. They should be able to shorten the jail time of imprisoned operatives.
It depends if they're a barrister or a barrister, you know. People generally probably like them a lot when they need them. But that would mean doing recruit missions. I can't really be bothered. Oh yeah, plus I didn't actually save her. And... oh, you died? Oh, but look at your mask. It was badass. Did I kill you? I probably did, right? I'll abandon my recruitment of the corpse. Probably don't need a corpse in the team. Okay. Next mission. Honey Trap. Oh, yeah. I've heard Winnie the Pooh makes an appearance in this one. We may take a quick break here, actually, as well. Perform banjo, perform music, banjo. Hey. Here's a vagina pic I just sent you. Do you like it?
That is disgusting.
Yeah. Well, that's just your opinion, man.
How's it going?
Bad. Someone just cursed out my vagina. Now I'm gonna have to... this won't hit me? I'm pretty safe. It hit me a little bit. Not too bad though.
Secure that vehicle.
People with masks like that don't just die, right? He was the king of London. The king. Not many people know there's a king of London. If I wasn't the king, how could I control everything?
Something's wrong with that. Shut it down.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Look for the breach. Someone's inside.
Someone's inside? We are clearly outside. Anyway, okay, we're going to do a quick little break so I can go over pee and whatnot. So,